class. Today we're looking at Chapter 5, Lesson 4, Systems in the Real World. Systems of linear equations can be used to model and solve real-world problems, such as those related to fees and purchases. You can solve systems of linear equations by using a graph, substitution, or elimination. The best method to use depends partly on how the given equations are written. So first, let's look at graphing. When you want a visual display of equations or when you want to estimate a solution, graphing is the best method. Now let's look at substitution. When one equation is solved for one of the variables, so like if it's y equals or x equals, when it's easy to solve for one of the variables, so if you easily could get one of the variables by itself, then substitution is the best method. And last, elimination. When the coefficients of one variable are the same or additive inverses. So, right, if it has a 6x and a minus 6x, or if it has a 2x and a 2x, and then you can substitute or subtract them, that's when you'd want to use elimination. So let's look at an example. A taxi company A charges a flat rate of $8.50 plus $2 per mile traveled. And this is the equation for it right here. Company B charges a flat rate of $5.50 plus $4 for every mile traveled. What would be the better company to hire? Company A or Company B? Explain your reasoning. So the first thing we had to do is create these equations, which we've already done. So now let's go ahead and graph these equations. So we're going to start with the top one. So it starts in dollars, $8.50. That's just the initial fee. And then every mile it goes up $2. So after mile 1, it goes up to $10.50. Trying to make that as straight as possible. Okay. The second equation, $5.50, is where it starts. And every mile it goes up $4. So after mile 1, it goes up to $9.50. After mile 2, it goes up to $13.50. So if we connect those lines, it looks like it crosses right here. So if we bring that in and bring it down, at 1.5 miles, so that's the x, and 11.5 are where the two lines intersect. So if we look at this graph, for a ride that's less than 1.5 miles, Company B is less expensive. So Company B, if it is less than 1.5 miles, If it's going to be more than 1.5 miles, company A. If it's greater than. Oh, and I did those backwards, I'm sorry. So this is if it's less than, and this is if it's greater than 1.5 miles. Okay, so you tried this one on your own. Alexa is trying to decide between two hotels. Hotel A charges $80 per night. Hotel B charges $70 per night, plus a one-time parking fee of $20. Which hotel should Alexa choose? Okay, so when I graph these two, they cross at 160. So if you are going to be staying less than 2 nights, you should choose Hotel B. If you're staying more than 2 nights, I'm sorry, I said Hotel B, the first one, and it's Hotel A. Less than 2 nights, choose Hotel A. More than 2 nights, choose Hotel B. So now let's take a look at the application using money. So Matthew has 80 coins, all nickels and dimes. The value of the coins is $6.75. Write and solve a system of equations to determine how many nickels and how many dimes Matthew has. So we came up with this. It said that 80 coins altogether. So nickels plus dimes equals 80 cents. We know that nickels are worth 5 cents. Dimes are worth 10 cents. So when we multiply those together, it equals the $6.75. So let's solve for n in this first equation so we can use the substitution method. Okay, so if we want d to go to the other side, we're going to subtract d from each side. It's crossed out here, subtract d, so now we have n equals 80 minus d, and we're going to then substitute this n for this, so we have 0.5 times 80 minus d plus 10 cents of dimes equals $6.75. So we want to distribute the 0.5 into both of these, and when we do 80 times 0.5, oh, and you know what? It should be 0.05, my mistake. Yours was incorrect from there. Please make that correction because a nickel is only worth 5 cents, not 50 cents. So when we multiply that, we are going to get 4 minus 0.05d plus the 10 cents d equals $6.75. Let's join like terms. 0.05d, subtract 4 from each side, equals $2.75. If we divide $2.75 by 0.05, we get 55. So we're saying there were 55 dimes. So if we know that there are 55 dimes, we can plug this into the original equation, and therefore we know that there's a total of 80. 80 subtract 55. So what I did was n plus 55 equals 80 subtract 55, subtract 55. That's what I should have done. That crosses out. We get 25. So there are 25 nickels. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one. See if you can figure this one out on your own. Alyssa has a collection of 35 character figures. Some of the figures cost $10 each, and the other costs $25 each. The total value of her figures is $575. Write and solve an equation of a system of equations to find how many $10 figures and how many $25 figures she has. Press pause, come back to me when you're done. Okay, so you should have come up with 15 $25 figure and 35 $10 figures. Okay, let's look at how it applies to dining. So Chanel and Chris went to the coffee shop to buy breakfast for their office. Chanel ordered 4 bagels and 3 muffins and paid $10.86. Chris ordered 4 bagels and 6 muffins and paid $14.16. What is the cost of 1 bagel? So let's come up with a couple equations. So Chanel, she had 4 bagels plus 3 muffins, and that equaled $10.86. And Chris had 4 bagels plus 6 muffins, and that's going to equal $14.16. So this one, what we could do is we can use the elimination. Let's subtract them. So if we subtract this, that means we have to then subtract this, and we have to subtract that. So these are going to be eliminated. This will give us negative 3 muffins equals, so we're going to take $14.16, subtract $10.86, so that gives us a negative $3.30 divided by the negative 3, equals $1.10. So the muffins are $1.10, so now we have to solve for the bagel. So let's put it together in that first equation. So we have 4 bagels plus 3 times $1.10 equals $10.86. So 4b plus 330 equals $10.86. Subtract 330 from each side. Crosses out. 4b equals, $7.56. If we divide that by 4, bagels equal $1.89. What is the cost of the bagel? $1.89. Try this one on your own. G downloaded 15 songs and 3 movies for $32.25. Ari downloaded 22 songs and 3 movies for $41. What is the cost of downloading 1 movie? Press pause, figure it out, come back to me when you're done. So you should have come up with that the movie cost $4.50. check out my work if you have any questions on that. Sorry, it got a little messy on this side. So your homework for tonight is page 169, number 5 through 13 odd. Happy homeworking!